The kindred we met in the park is dead. We've met members of court. Well, Ellen has.
Yes.
And Sophie has asked us to return to her haven tomorrow because she has things she wishes to unveil to us.
She wants to discuss something.
Mysterious as always, kindred.
Yes, they love that, don't they?
I mean, they're a secret society. Their entire existences are based on secrets. It makes sense.
But I mean, surely you could have a bit of a laugh at yourself at some point.
Never.
No need to take it so seriously.
You sound like a MALKAVIAN.
Maybe I am.
Uh-oh.
Maybe I am.
Shall we rest?
We should rest. My biggest concern is that I haven't freaking fed. What am I going to do? Once more, darkness falls upon the city. I wake up. Too fast for me. I wake up, same as I have these past few nights, in a windowless room. As I pry open the reinforced steel door, I look out the window to see, invariably, a sky bereft of sunlight. And then it hits me. The hunger. For a moment, I let myself wonder if there will ever come a night when it's just not there. Given what I've learned thus far, I probably have as much chance of kick-starting my heart with jumper cables. I lock the apartment behind me and head over to Sophie's apartment. I did promise to call on her, might as well not keep the lady waiting. And hey, what else am I gonna do? Get in touch with my boss? He's probably looking for me, if only to scold me for the unintended files piling up on my desk. But what is he gonna do? Call the cops? Not worth the hassle. I'm almost hoping the few co-workers that seem to give a shit about me were faking it. It would make things easier. A fresh start from the ground up, like old times. These thoughts put me in a weird mood. It's a strange sensation to walk the crowded streets, same as I have so many times before, but feeling so disconnected. All these people, I'm not one of them. Not anymore. I'm a vampire, kindred, and I need to carve my own path in this strange new existence one way or another. Appropriately enough, I arrive at Sophie's building just as that thought crosses my mind. A quick word with the security guard and I'm let into the elevator. Apparently, Mrs. Langley is expecting me. Of course she is. I knock and wait patiently as the footsteps on the other side grow closer. Finally, the door opens and Gregory, Sophie's driver, invites me in. I find the lady herself standing by the window, silhouetted against the city's midnight glow. She stares out, motionless, like a marble statue. Wow, she's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Am I interrupting something? No, everything alright?
That one?
Yeah. Is everything alright? She doesn't react immediately, but seems to snap out of some meditative state and looks at me with strangely bleary eyes. Yes, it is. How kind of you to ask. Tell me, when you look out at this city, when you see the lights, hear the hum, smell the rain on the pavement, what do you think about? I gaze out. The lights and rain, the relentless honking below, music blasting from a nearby window, echoing off of buildings. Someone should record an hour of this and throw it up on YouTube as an ambient piece. Other than that, though, it's business as usual. The sights, the sounds, the smells, I know them all too well. Sophie watches me. I can tell she's disappointed somehow, but she covers it up with a courteous smile. Well, not everyone can appreciate the intricacies that the world offers. In fact, among kindred, my clan is somewhat notorious for finding innate meaning even in the mundane. Clan. A bloodline of vampires who share common characteristics passed on through the blood from sire to child. There are 13 known clans, all of which were reputedly founded by members of the third generation. We'll learn about that later, perhaps. Perhaps. You see, the blood that flows within me is that of Clan TOREADOR. Clan TOREADOR. I say triumphantly.
Yes.
Many Toreador emerge from the ranks of accomplished artists, both new and faded, but not all artists need to wield a brush. To the Toreador, art encompasses all forms of entertainment and stimulation. The Clan of the Rose courts the greatest actors, singers, writers, dancers, and even sex workers if the degenerates believe such mortals will offer something new to their clan. Despite the custom of embracing only the best, the Toreador fixation on beauty and innocence has caused many a diva to make a fledgling in haste. Many a moonlit night, new clan members have emerged as shallow hedonists, one-hit wonders, or just a stunning body with nothing else to offer. Nicknames: divas, harlots, sensates, perverts, hedonists, degenerates. My kind of people. There are 13 such bloodlines among us kindred, though that number has been contested in the past, and these nights it seems that nothing is certain anymore. Bloodline, a vampire's heritage. See also, clan.
That contested amount of bloodlines or clans is hotly in contention.
Ah.
One might even be dead.
Ooh.
Who can say anymore in these current nights?
I mean, you're saying.
That's true. I
You're
am.
saying right now.
Yeah.
The clans have gone by many epithets over the years, but the names used these nights have their roots in medieval times. The original Inquisition, if you can believe it. They used these to categorize us, describe our inherent differences. In time, we adopted them ourselves. Each clan has a uniqueness about it, inescapable, originating from an ancient progenitor, carried from sire to child. Child, a vampire created through the embrace. The child is the progeny of their sire. This term is often used derogatorily, indicating inexperience. Plural, childer. Childer? Childer.
Contentious moment. I believe that the pronunciation of kindred terms varies and should vary place to place, culture to culture. That there shouldn't be a pronunciation guide for White Wolf products or Vampire the Masqurade things. How some groups will call a BRUJAH or BRUJAH should morph. Even the word mum is pronounced differently in different places in the world. Mom.
American mums are so hard to say.
So I'm a big fan of whatever your city, whatever your players say, that's the correct way to say it. I mean,
come at Chris in the comments.
Yeah, please fight me.
I'm just glad it's not me for once.
No, I'm a big proponent of that.
For the Toreador, the gift lies in a sensitivity of sorts. We are uniquely attuned to beauty and ugliness both. We can see either where most cannot. A blessing on most nights, occasionally a curse. The sheriff is of my clan as well, although you'd be hard-pressed to see him as such. Poor Kadir. It breaks my heart to see him in this state. Still, there is a beauty to it as well. Nothing like a good fall from grace.
Did you think that he was in the Clan of the Rose?
I did not, no.
There you go. Surprises. Takes all sorts.
It does take all sorts. Well, I think it's just the thing of, like, there's no cookie-cutter vampire. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might be of Toreador, but that doesn't mean you're, like, an aesthete in like, the most obvious sense.
Yeah.
You know? You could be all kinds. You could be like a conceptual piss artist and still be a Toreador. But that's not like what will come to people's minds. Do you know what I mean? You could be a perfumist. You could even be like, I don't know, like, there's just a lot. You could be a sandwich artist from Subway.
You could be a writer, and that would be not a visual sort of artist.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I like that there's this scope to the games in the world of darkness, rather. Try as she might to act playful, I can tell she genuinely cares. She lets her gaze wander for a brief moment, but is quick to regain her composure. Then there are the VENTRUE, known for their pride and a proclivity to rule over others. The prince represents that clan and is quite common in our society around the globe. VENTRUE. Maybe, do you want to read this one, Chris?
Please.
There we are.
While many other clans claim positions of influence in mortal politics and business, no one can rival the VENTRUE in the game of pure power and wealth. They have long been the leaders of the Camarilla, holding more positions of power than any other clan, and they are loath to give that up. The VENTRUE believe in the strength of tradition and lineage. The embrace is one of the most important rituals, and the choice of child affects the way other members of the clan treat the sire. The VENTRUE therefore aim to embrace overachievers, politically or financially powerful kind, or those with the talent that sets them apart from the masses. They maintain that they are destined to rule all kindred, no matter the sacrifices involved. Their detractors call them little lords, Borgias, and tyrants. Those who respect VENTRUE for keeping the Camarilla together use terms like blue bloods, patricians, or warlords. That's another word, Camarilla. Can be pronounced a few different ways. Camarilla.
Camarilla? Damn it.
How was it pronounced recently?
Camarilla.
Anyway.
Camarilla? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to read it all
I
different
believe
ways.
it's a Spanish or Latin term, and there's a yeah. Anyway.
Camarilla?
Camarilla.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes. So pronounce things however you want.
Where the blue bloods think themselves rulers, the BRUJAH like to see themselves as preeminent revolutionaries. They call for universal rebellion while being slaves to their own temper. Clan BRUJAH have always embraced from the ranks of those sympathetic to counterculture and revolution. They seek out allies who question normative ideas, and recognizing the fire of the oppressed, they gravitate towards the underdog. Common perception place punks, gang members, maladjusted immigrants rejected by the society that should protect them, and placard-carrying and Molotov-wielding rioters among the BRUJAH. While the above is sometimes true, the clan adheres to no single ideology, and their desire for dissent reaches as deep as the fraudster ripping off his own company, the lawyer representing the poor pro bono, the neo-Nazi claiming to be alt-right, and the basement dweller downloading thousands of movies illegally for redistribution on streaming sites. Fledglings embraced to fight and protest are commonly referred to as rebels, punks, or rabble. They also sound dope.
Yeah, they're very fun.
Yes. We don't discuss the rabble much anymore, not after they've largely broken off with the Camarilla. To think they were philosophers once, long time ago. I hope to tell you more about some of the other bloodlines tonight. What's my clan? Do you know what my clan is? No. I can only guess it based on certain aspects of your behavior and tastes. You will need to come to your own conclusion and seek validation from your clanmates, if you require such a thing. As you will no doubt learn, some kindred fit these stereotypes more than others. The blood is hard to deny, though there are certainly those who try. But that is perhaps a subject for another time. I invited you here for a reason. There is something I wanted to speak to you about. It is customary in our society, especially among younger kindred, to organize into coteries. Sometimes these are called by the prince themselves, or mandated by a fledgling sire. In our case, you may treat it as more of a strong recommendation. I want you to seek out companions, not only because you need to learn more about our society, but also because it is useful. True friendships are rare among kindred, but having allies, even temporary ones, is something of a necessity these nights. We might be selfish creatures, but we are drawn to each other nonetheless. Do you have your own coterie? So tell me, are you part of a coterie? Any close allies? I do have those that I trust enough to work with, yes. Not a coterie exactly, though I have joined several of those over the years. Not in over a century, though. You, however, you would do well to meet some of the city's younger kindred and see if you can find a connection. It's an essential experience for one so young. She puts on a mysterious smile. I spent some of my precious time last night asking around, pondering potential kindred for you to meet. Came up with a short list of contacts. I hope you'll appreciate the gesture. Forging a partnership with them might offer perspectives and viewpoints that I cannot provide. Lenses through which to view our kind. They are all members of the Camarilla, of course. More or less. Okay, who are they? Alright then, let's hear it. Who's on the list? Eager to learn about them, I see. Good. I'm glad. So, let us start with the Tremere. They are a powerful clan, disliked by many, but feared and respected by many more. They have been an important pillar of the Camarilla since the very beginning. They are blood sorcerers. You want to take this one?
Sure. A Hermetic mage in 8th century Romania. Tremere was the leader of a cabal of magic users rightfully feared for their obsession with knowledge and power. Unwilling to accept his own mortality, Tremere cast his eyes on the hallowed secret of immortality. In his greed, the mage instigated the most terrifying magical experiments ever conducted, damning himself and his followers to a hell of their own making. Terrified, they died and woke again to an eternity of unlife and hunger, cut off from their craft. In a mockery of their former magic rituals, now only fresh blood allows the Tremere to cast their thaumaturgic spells to twist reality. The clan is still organized like an
Initiary?
Thank you, I'm struggling to read.
That's okay.
An initiatory occult order, recently fractured into a number of competing houses, each claiming to be the rightful heir of Tremere's legacy. They see true power as knowing the ways of shaping the world, having access to the right blood, and owning the rarest of ancient artifacts. They are usually referred to as warlocks, hermetics, or transgressors.
Cool.
Hermetics, rather. And Phil plays a Tremere in our
He
game
does
of
very well, I might add.
Vampire the Masqurade in our podcast, which is available on the channel. Just in case people who are discovering us through this, haven't heard of us.
Very,
Thank you,
very
thank you.
native advertising.
Yeah,
there,
that's
Chris.
right. That's right. Don't draw attention to it. Deliberately don't draw attention to it. Deliberately draw attention to the fact that you're trying not to draw attention to it, then comment on it later.
Now we've hit it, baby.
5D chess. This is why I play VENTRUE. Because I'm bad at it.
Okay. Blood sorcerers? I flash back to one of those nights when my ex would stay up late playing video games. Not a pleasant connotation. Was that game Dragon Age, perhaps? Because then it was me.
And my ex is me?
Well, they say the longest relationship you'll ever be in is with yourself.
That's very true.
Sophie Snickers. She hates Dragon Age for some reason. Oh, child, don't be caught with that look on your face when you meet a warlock in person. They really are adept at using vitae, their own as well as others, to unique and potent effects. Vitae, archaic term for the blood of a vampire.
Or vitae, again, can be pronounced a number of different ways.
There we are. So I'm not wrong. I'm just interpreting. Since they are quite rigid in their hierarchy, the kindred I had in mind for you might need some persuading. His name is Agathon. From what I hear, he is quite the scholar, very ambitious, the child of a noted Oh, it's Ashlyn, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
Ashling Sturbridge. Spend enough time with Agathon, and I'm sure you'll run into her sooner or later. It's an Irish name. Blood magic. Intriguing. This whole blood magic thing sounds intriguing. Oh yes, fascinating. It is also a well-kept secret of the Tremere. Don't expect them to share it right away. Some things have to be earned.
Don't expect them to share it much at all.
Ever.
Yeah, they're very
forever
secretive.
times.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you wish to contact the young Tremere, I hear you can usually find him in a New Age bookstore out in Broadway. The Tremere have one of their workshops there. Gregory will give you the details. Now, this next recommendation comes with a bit of a caveat. As you recall me saying, most bloodlines have unique features that might not be obvious at first glance. Well, there is one clan whose members wear their curse on their sleeve. The NOSFERATU. The NOSFERATU. Clan NOSFERATU. The clan of the hidden unknown under many names. Hives, lepers, sewer rats, carnies, scabs, orlocks, but a few of them sound pleasant. For the NOSFERATU, the embrace is a journey through objection, as the blood of the horror gradually deforms the struggling tissues of the human body into grotesque abominations. Weeks of pain result in deformities similar to terrible birth defects, cancer growths, crippling injuries, and leper-like sores. Those who endure it find themselves as monstrous echoes of Morneau's silver screen vision. But perhaps pain and humiliation teaches compassion. The NOSFERATU, as they jokingly call themselves, are the most humane of the kindred, wearing their curse on the outside rather than the inside. To blend in, some call on the blood to wear the borrowed faces of their victims or disappear from sight, while others rely on prosthetics and heavy makeup. Bummer, dude. I wouldn't choose it.
There was a great description in one of the books that describes Nosferatu, the blood being like worms or cobwebs.
Oh, dude, that
on
sucks.
the inside.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Anyway.
The way she said it, you're pretty sure it should mean something to you. Other than sounding foreign, it doesn't ring any bells.
Clearly not a film fan.
Yes. She's a busy lady. Alright. She was climbing the corporate ladder before she got embraced. No wonder they make their havens in sewers, abandoned buildings, and such. Their appearance is hideous and obviously unnatural. Had they walked the streets like other kindred, the kind would have learned of our existence long ago. Did she just shudder? It's hard to tell with her usual complexion, but you could swear her skin suddenly took on an even more sickly color. The one I have in mind isn't as big an eyesore as the worst of them, but he is no Adonis either. Still, he has some talents and connections that you might find useful. His name is D'Angelo, and he has an office, for lack of a better term, in the otherwise abandoned grain terminal in Red Hook, right next to one of those Swedish stores. The name escapes me, the ones with the awful furniture. What? IKEA? No. What connections does he have? You mentioned this D'Angelo has some useful connections. I was just getting to that. D'Angelo does odd jobs for Kadir, digging up dirt, locating kindred who would prefer to remain hidden, the kind of work the Nosferatu are best at. He's on a case right now, something to do with kind murders, I think. After your initial brush with our dear sheriff, I think it would be wise to show some goodwill towards his agenda. Assisting D'Angelo with his investigation might be just the thing. She takes a brief pause to look out the window again. Now come the two more exotic proposals. Exotic? As if the blood mage and the vampire detective were business as usual. You may have heard about the Gangrel before. They are a wild clan, in touch with their beast in a way some others might not dare to attempt. They mostly keep out of big cities, but there are exceptions. Take it away, Chris.
Clan Gangrel are outcasts, wanderers, rogues, and hunters. They make havens in the poorest parts of the city and feel no shame for doing so. They claim few domains as their own, but defer to no prince. If a feral enters a city, the prince will either accept it or have to fight the feral to get them to back down. Gangrel embrace from the ranks of survivors and fighters, leaders of prison crews and gangs, explorers urban and otherwise, and any kind who sees the world as something to traverse instead of something to hide from. They care not for looks or title, but for accomplishment and reputation. They are commonly referred to as wolves, feral, and outcasts, or in a more derogatory manner, as animals, strays, and savages. I think my longest character I played was a gangrel.
Oh, yeah? I don't know, it's like the thing of like, I wouldn't mind being a gangrel for a bit, but like, it's not my native state of being. You know, I like my alone time, you know, out in the woods and stuff, but not forevers.
Not forevers.
Yeah. Nominally, they haven't been part of the Camarilla for over 2 decades, but the one kindred I would like you to meet has strong, shall we say, familial ties to the sect. Her name is Tamika. Her sire, Jezebel, was instrumental during the Battle of New York back in 1999, the very same battle that cemented the city as a Camarilla domain. Sadly, her achievements have gone largely unrecognized. Tamika and a number of her siblings still reside in the domain they were awarded after the battle, Prospect Park. Jezebel herself left the city some years ago, fed up with being underappreciated. You mentioned siblings? Siblings? Actual biological brothers and sisters? No, not in the mortal sense. The gangrels sometimes use the word brood to indicate child or begat by the same sire. As you can probably tell, they do take the whole animal motif quite far. I'm not sure how many of them there are, but they are rumored to be a tight-knit group. The gangrel often act on instinct, so when you meet Tamika or her siblings, be careful not to slight them. They are easily provoked and can hold a grudge for a long time. I speak from experience. So you see, seeking out Tamika could prove quite educational, if nothing else. And who knows, perhaps you will find her temperament to be a welcome change of pace. But speaking of a change of pace, I have one last suggestion for you, though it's one I don't make lightly. The kindred who calls herself Hope. She's a Malkavian. They are a uniquely cursed clan. For centuries we considered them mad, insane, unhinged, but those of us who spend enough time with them come to understand the truth. Clan Malkavian. Psychologists would diagnose the children of Malkav with schizophrenia, depression, obsessive-compulsive disorder, or post-traumatic stress disorder, sometimes all at once. In reality, the Clan of the Moon are all of these things and none. Like the wise madmen of poetry, their derangement stems from seeing too much of the world at once, from understanding too deeply and feeling emotions that are too strong to bear. They self-medicate with blood, but that is just a temporary solution. All Malkavians suffer mental illness following the embrace, sometimes accentuating an existing condition, other times adding a new dimension to their instability. As if their thoughts and actions were based on otherworldly logic, there seems to be no knowing where their condition will manifest destructively or when it will offer important perspectives where such were previously lacking. They are referred to as oracles, jesters, and visionaries, or in a more insulting manner as madmen, liabilities, and lunatics. I mean, probably me.
Well, you do have a clown tattoo.
It's a sad clown.
Yeah.
It's a Poirot clown.
There you go.
Which is not like crazy clown.
Oh, okay.
It's more mime. Or it comes from kind of like commedia dell'arte, which like if you're Italian, you know, but it's like the Italian school of clowning, which is very like slapsticky and physical. Anyway, clown tangent. Maybe I would be a Malkavian.
There you go.
It is no sickness, but a unique perception of the world that has them appear to us as unstable, and that perception can prove to be very valuable. Having a Malkavian as your companion might be taxing on the nerves and a true test of patience at times, but their insight and intuition are unrivaled among kindred. As for Hope specifically, she's said to be a recluse, but I have it on good authority that she can currently be found in an internet cafe, I believe it's called, in Lower Manhattan. Gregory has the address. Where did you learn about her? Where did you learn about her exactly? One of my colleagues told me about her. He considers her uniquely talented and tapped into the current fads among kind. Not something I am personally interested in, as I'm sure you know by now. I take his word for it at any rate. Well, I believe that's all of them. I still have a few social calls to make tonight, so I'll leave you to it. Use tonight and tomorrow night to arrange some cordial visits of your own. I will send Gregory for you as soon as I have further need of your services. Oh, and that reminds me, you will need a car. Join us downstairs, won't you? She smiles once more and turns to her driver. He helps her put on her coat, and the three of you leave Sophie's apartment. Sophie points to one of the cars near the building as Gregory hands you the keys. It's a rather inconspicuous compact car, a decent-looking, if not a luxurious, ride. Stay safe, Ellen. This is your first night alone. Don't let it be your last. As they drive away, I find myself with more freedom than I've had for the past few nights. A blessing or a burden? Time will tell. With a list of addresses in hand, I consider my next move. Ha!
And we will consider our next move on the next episode. So we have all these potentials to talk to.
Oh goodness, there's so many choices.
How exciting.
I do not know if I can make them on my own. I mean, I can and I will, but...
Yes, you're going to have to. I mean, I will be here.
Yeah, but...
And our audience,
you know I don't.
And our audience will have commented.
Yes.
You can consult them.
Yeah.
If you want.
I mean, I won't read it.
That's fair. I will.
No, I will read it. Of course I will. But yeah.
I always read the comments.
I love reading the comments.
I'm up all night reading comments.
I love posting them as well, saying how shit Chris is.
That's what I spend all night reading.
Alright, well, until I make the choice of my coterie, good night.
Good night.